Greetings hobbyists, this is Artisans of Vool, and CharMorph is back. Let's have a look at it. So I did a video on CharMorph quite a while ago, and since then it became a bit tricky to get updating it, and it generally didn't work with some of the more recent versions of Blender. But CharMorph now has a dedicated website where it used to be on Gumroad, and it is working with Blender 5. So go to the website, you can just Google CharMorph, or it's blendercharacterproject.org, and then you get this free download button, click free download, and you're good to go. You can also see some galleries of what you can do and notice some of the texturing that's really nice. I don't really care about that because I'm doing it for 3D sculpting, but know that it's there. And you've got all the documentation as well that you can check out, and some nice things like best practices that give you some idea of things you might want to do to get the best results, and specifics about creating a character or creating hair and things like that. So I'm only going to go through this briefly. That's well worth reading. Once you're back in Blender, just drag the downloaded file into Blender and it will install as you'd normally expect. Go to Edit, Preferences, and then find CharMorph. I will say that I pronounce this CharMorph. I don't think it is meant to be CharMorph because it's meant to be character. I do wish there was an A in there because I seem to find myself saying it anyway. And I personally put on adult mode because I don't want it to have these weird blacked out bits that don't really do a great job of trying to be clothes. Now, one thing you are going to need to do is decide on a character model that you want. At least one of them you can download more. I've gone for the top one, which is the Vitruvian model, but as I say, you can do more. When you click download, it does seem like it's not doing anything, but just be patient, leave it to work, and then it should be downloaded in a minute or two. And then you can also auto check for updates. I generally turn that off so that it doesn't slow me down at a certain point I wasn't expecting when I'm trying to get onto Blender, and I'll just search for updates when I want to. Save your preferences and you're good to go. Hit N and find wherever you've got CharMorph on your M panel. Now, if this is the first time you've installed a library, you'll need to click this Reload Library button, and at the moment you can see I've only got one. If you're going to have more than one, then this is where you select it. I generally ignore everything at this point and then go to Import Character. So at this point we get a fairly androgynousy looking character, which is fine because it's our starting point, and we get all of the options below starting with these character types. Now we get a load of presets. I generally start here. While this does have feminine and masculine, I will generally start with a race, and this will start putting in some basic characteristics that are a little bit, let's say, stereotyped. For example, if we go, I don't know, like North Indian, it just changes some of the facial characteristics. Same with East Asian, and same with African. You do get this mix with current. So I think the way that works is you could be like, I want to have a feminine character, and then I want that feminine character to look African. So you can do that as well. I'm just going to go to white to begin with, and then we come down here where we get our submorphs. Now this has a load of menus here. They're not each individually shown because otherwise this would be massive and you'd be scrolling forever. And you can see what we can do. Here I generally start with gender, and you basically get these sliders that turn things from 0 to 1 depending on what you want. Now you can do this overall, or you can just do the body or the head. But if you've done the gender female as total, okay, it starts to get a little bit exaggerated, like far too exaggerated and pinched if you do these settings twice. So don't do that, would be my advice. If you want a female one, either go here or just do the head to a certain amount and then do the body to a certain amount. That would be my advice. Don't do the head, body, and the general gender. That causes a load of hassle. From there, I'll generally go into the age if it's going to be relevant. You can manipulate this fairly easily. Just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go to gender and make this male for the sake of making it younger. Then go to age, and we can make this like a younger child, or we could make this an older person. And this, again, just sort of makes them a little bit more wrinkly. I would say with things like the gender, going all the way up to 1 on this generally gets a bit too extreme. You don't want to go that far. I'm going to go back to age, and let's bring that down to 0. So we go for something sort of generically middle-aged. But you have loads and loads of options here. And in a world of AI models where you just throw in some commands and it makes some general character that you haven't really got control over, the ability to control all these different bits. For example, look at the amount of options you've got for the nose. Like, I can change the bridge prominence, okay, all of these different little bits that have these little effects, like the nasal angle. Like, it's really, really cool. You just get so many little options that are just fiddling with tiny little bits of this to get everything exactly the way you want. So I'm not going to go through all of these, it would just take too long, but just some things like musculature is quite useful to use. And do note, you could just click and drag all of these, put it to 0.5 and use that as a starting point and go, no, actually I want him to have a more muscly stomach, so you could go that way. Or you could be less. It just gives you starting points to then play around with. You also have some cool fantasy options. Let's just come here. So, for example, you could make him Voldemort if you wanted to, or do things like playing around with the teeth. Oh, that's a point. If I just Shift and Z, do note this has got a lot of internal detail as well. For example, the nasal cavity probably goes a little bit too far for me. If this was for 3D printing, I would generally delete a bit of this out later. And you have got the teeth and the mouth as well. And you can open the mouth as part of the rig if you want to, but you can sort of just about see the teeth here. So we could go for sharp teeth, and that's going to sharpen all of them to make some weird sort of alien thing. Or we could just do vampire teeth, and you can just sort of about see that. So there we go, loads and loads and loads of different options. You do have some other options as well, and materials, which I'm not going to play around with. You can randomize things, I believe. I haven't played around with that too much. Generally, I just make things the way I want, and a lot of the time I use this just for heads or for something like a hand. It just saves me a lot of time sculpting a hand. I generally work with hard surface modeling. I don't do a lot of sculpting, so this gives me a really nice starting point. I would like to learn sculpting at some point. It's just a matter of time. You can also add in hair. I have a tendency not to. Just for 3D printing, I'll generally make my own. And finally, and this gets really useful, you can rig it. Now, you have some different rig options. I generally don't manually do these, but just to give you a demonstration of what we're doing, if we just add our rig, it seems to say that there's an error, but I generally don't have an issue with this, and we've got our rigged model. If we click on that rig and go to pose, we can now start posing things. So for example, I could start moving him like there. To have his foot up, I could start moving his hand around. Let's do something like that and rotate that around there. And we'll have him sort of waving. So there we go. So it is really, really easy to get things. Or we could have him, let's just rotate those round and those round. And maybe that one a little bit more. So we could have him saying live long and prosper if we wanted to. That's probably a bit too much on there. Let's go a little bit less. So loads and loads of ways to play around this. But you can see if I come into edit mode, some of the details of the rig and stuff like that. So there we go. So let's just H to hide that. And we've got our guy sort of standing, I don't know, on a box and doing some Star Trek stuff. But there you go, that is the basis of this. It just gives you a really nice starting point. You can rig it or not and add in your own rig if you choose to. Do be aware again of the internal details, for example, the teeth and the mouth. You might want to remove certain bits of that depending on what you're doing with it, if it's for 3D sculpting. But what a great way to start a model. It gives you all of the options to make this exactly the way you want it to be, really quickly and easily. I'll put a link to that in the description. It's free. Go and have a play and see what you think. Hope to see you in the next video, and have a great day.